So this is the Dobinson MRR 3-way adjustable lift kit for the 3rd gen Tacoma. Simply put, it's incredible. On-road, off-road, with or without a load, this suspension allows you to fine-tune it for the perfect ride in all conditions. So this video is the review of the Dobinson MRA suspension kit. Alright, so first let's go over some specs. The Dobinson MRRs are 2-inch shock bodies with remote reservoirs. They decided to go with 2-inch shock bodies because 2.5-inch were just unnecessary for the mid-size truck market. They found that with their tuning and what they were doing, the 2-inch shock body was perfect. It also is a 3-way adjustable shock like the name suggests, so you have low speed compression, high speed compression, and rebound with 10, 20, and 15 adjustments respectively. Super easy to adjust as well. There's big knobs for the compression, and there's a little dial for the rebound. All of them have detents in them so you can feel the clicks, and there's an audible click to them as well so you know where you're at in the settings. So first I want to talk about the on-road characteristics of this kit. I have mine set pretty soft for the most part. So for high and low speed compression, I have them both set at 5. I found that gives me a soft initial impact, but it stiffens up pretty quickly as soon as you start getting deeper into the travel. So on potholes and stuff like that, like kind of shallow bumps, if you will, small bumps on the road, it keeps the ride really comfortable. As soon as you hit a speed bump at like full speed or something like that and you really get it traveling through the shock, it firms up and it gives you that support that you kind of need on the road. That's evident in a couple of different areas. One, when cornering, I don't feel like there's as much body roll as there was previously, but also under hard braking. With the 5100s, under heavy braking, the nose would dive really, really bad. And then on rebound, it would pop back up and the truck would kind of do this rocking thing for a bit before settling. With the Dobinsons under heavy braking, you feel that initial soft dive, but then it's almost like there's support for the front end of the truck lower or deeper into the travel of the shock that holds the front end up. So it feels a lot flatter under braking. And then once you've come to a stop, you dive a little bit and it just settles. There's no rocking at all. It's just boom. It's fantastic. It's a world of difference. And with extra weight, the story is pretty much the same. With the rooftop tent on the bed of the truck, that changes your center of gravity. You have a lot of weight way up top on the vehicle. And with the 5100s, really nothing I can do about it because they're not adjustable shocks. So you really felt the weight of the tent when it was on the truck, especially off-road. I took a while to get used to off-roading with the tent on there. But with the MRRs, I haven't actually needed to adjust them because even with the added weight, I've found it to still support that weight really well. But if need be, you can always adjust the compression settings to be a little bit firmer and hold that weight up. So next I want to cover forest roads. Where I drive, there's a lot of potholes and a lot of washboard roads. And washboards are awful. I hate every time I come across a washboarded section of the trail. It always felt like it was gonna rattle the truck apart. And one of the worst things, which is why I hated it so much, is even with the tent, I always felt like there wasn't enough contact with the road on the rear tires. So I would constantly have that, the rear drift out for me or kind of get away from me as I'm going around corners. Unintentionally, this is just product of the back bouncing on those washboards. So if you don't have contact, it's not gonna track and it ends up going sideways. With the MRRs, I have way more contact with the road because it responds to that a whole lot better. So I haven't had that same issue of the truck drifting kind of off the path that I'm on, right? I haven't lost the rear end because the MRRs are just tuned so well, and they handle that terrain really well. I also haven't had issue just bombing over them or with potholes. After coming up on some and not being able to dodge them a little bit too quickly, I'm not really like gripping the steering wheel and grimacing anymore because it doesn't hurt that bad. It really soaks them up really well. It's not this, I mean, it's uncomfortable, it's a pothole, right? But it's not the incredibly harsh, jarring, back-breaking experience that it was prior. Lastly, we're gonna cover off-roading. One of my favorite places to go is Tahoe. It is designed specifically for you to take your truck out and just test it out in a fairly safe and controlled environment. I love Tahoe. The Dobinson kit has made my time at Tahoe even more enjoyable. I have more travel for the wheels due to the longer shaft length and the upper control arms. So I have, which translate to more articulation and tires maintaining contact with the ground more. So while a goal of mine is to always hang a wheel or be three-wheeling at some point when I go off-roading, I found that it happened less frequently with this kit than with the 5100s, and that's simply because my articulation was better. The suspension is built for it and allowed specifically the rear to droop a little bit more. Perfect example of this is there's a mobile section that I've done many times with the 5100 kit and then with the Dobinson kit. With the Bilsteins, with the 5100s, I always used a rear locker and no traction control. And I got through it with no slipping, but you could tell the rear locker was doing some heavy lifting because there was a lot of three-wheel action. With this kit, I can go through that same section without the rear locker and no traction control, and it handles it perfectly with little to no slip. I've done it twice with the Dobinsons, and each time I've just straight through it, no problem. So that goes to show you I'm maintaining contact with the ground more in critical areas where that traction needs to be put down. All right, lastly, I want to talk about the company itself. The company itself was amazing to work with. They were super fast and responsive. It was one person that I worked with the entire way through, and they were great. And when I got the kit, I was actually missing a vehicle-specific mount for the front reservoirs. I reached out to that same person, had said, hey, my kit didn't come with this, and he shipped it out immediately, expedited shipping, and 2 days later I had the parts at my front door. Truly a great company to work with. They're one of the best customer service experiences I've had, probably in this industry in general. They were great. Couple things of note. I got the light medium duty leaf springs. I would probably just go with the heavy duty leaf springs because with a rooftop tent and now my Mammoth trailer, the Mammoth has a 300-pound tongue weight. It's maybe a little bit saggy, where I wish I had a little bit more support in the back end. So I would probably go with a heavier duty leaf. I also wasn't able to hook the brake line mounts back up, so I had to jerry rig those a little bit. So I think though that could be tweaked a little bit. I also don't think I would get the upper control arms again. SPC makes a fantastic upper control arm that's way more adjustable for the same price. I would probably go that route rather than the Dobinsons because I didn't get the caster I was expecting out of them. They look good and they're strong as hell, but I just don't think I would buy them again. So to recap, better on-road performance, better off-road performance. It handles loads way better. It has more articulation, more flex, more travel, and it's way more comfortable. In my opinion, this wins in almost every single category. This is an amazing kit, especially for the price, because it's a little under what you would pay for like a Kings or a Fox or something like that. So if you were in the market for a new kit and you have the means to do so, I would strongly encourage you to look at this kit closely. I think for the value, for the performance, you cannot go wrong with this kit. I truly can't think of a situation where this kit would let you down. So happy with it. I've jumped the truck. It was unintentional, but it felt just like an absolute cloud. It was a small jump, not gonna lie. It was very small, but it was cool all the same. If you like this video, I would love it if you give a thumbs up, because it really helps me reach a bigger audience. A lot of people comment on my videos saying, how is this channel so small? Well, it's because you didn't hit the thumbs up, and it wasn't pushed out to more people because of that. So if you could hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Consider subscribing if you aren't already. And until next time, hope you're able to get off the grid and off the grind. I'll see you in the next one.